What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things that they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. That we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Before we get really going tonight, I just want to say that there is actually quite a few headlines or articles that I have brought up and there is a lot of fairly important stuff that I'll be covering this evening. So, you guys know me. I wind up going off into nonsensical tangents, and I don't want anybody to miss anything important because I get to talking about something stupid or whatever. But anywho, thank you, Angel. Thank you for coming, brother. I'll tell you what. This smoke thing is kind of crazy that's going on. I posted that video earlier, which was like just a real slow pan with the Mavic Air 2, and I couldn't believe it. When I went up there and I initially shot a one of those spear photos. It's a panorama that it's 360 video or picture. So anyway, I had shot that. And then I saw the picture. I put it on Facebook, and I'm like, ooh, I got to have video of that. So I put it back up in the air, and just, like I said, did a real slow pan and got video of it. Not real long after all that, our town had actually put out a kind of like a announcement, or I don't know what you want to call it, kind of a public service announcement, I guess you would call it. And I'm going to show that to you real quick. They just basically said, the regular stuff about the smoke from the wildfires, talking about the different issues that it could cause and all that. The precautions, things you could do, and, yada, yada. And it has been affecting me to some extent. It's not made it real super uncomfortable for me, except for earlier today when I went out and I got the trash cans and I brought them back up to the house, and that was horrible. I mean, it was insane. And so I came back in, I didn't think anything of it, and then Jen and I had both been having irritated eyes and a little bit of harshness with breathing and stuff like that. And so I got to thinking, well, why don't I whip out that expensive air filtration system we've got? And so I did, and that's probably what you hear in the background. So what kind of air filtration device? Well, I know a little bit about these air filtration devices because I was involved in the sale of them for about 6 months, in which I successfully sold one to a poor, unfortunate old lady that had to give it back because her credit wasn't good. But, I couldn't help that. I almost sold one in 6 months' time. It's kind of hard. And why would it be hard? Well, I think they used to actually be more expensive than they are today. I had brought them up. I brought it up on the interwebs just for a good laugh, and they're actually cheaper today. And I'm not trying to sell one to you, although I would. They're actually cheaper today than they were when I was selling them. That's a fact. I've got their website right here, and it's crazy. The air filtration device that I am talking about is this one here. And you might say, but Mike, that's a vacuum. And I would say, oh, but no. Oh, no. I'm telling you, if we ever got caught calling that a vacuum, it was our ass. I'm just going to say that right now. That was not allowed to be called a vacuum. It's an air filtration device with vacuum attachments, but it's not a vacuum. And don't dare call it a vacuum. Elroy, literally, Elroy was the name of the guy that my boss, right, when I sold these things. And I'm going to get off on a tangent here. We'll get to the news in a second. I got to tell you about this. So this is how this worked. we would set our happy little asses at an office, in a chair, with a phone book, right? And we're talking about a big-ass White Pages phone book. And we would literally open up the phone book, right? And we would do, switch, damn it. We would do one of these numbers, right? And that's who we called. And we'd call them and we'd tell them about some grocery prize that they had won. And you know, but in order to win this grocery gift certificate kind of thing, was you had to sit through a demonstration of an air filtration system. And I think $100 or something was the deal or whatever for the grocery whatever. And and then that would get us inside their door. And I wasn't good at it, and the reason why I wasn't good at it is because I was brought up in a poor family. And I could imagine looking my dad in the eyes and telling him that he needed to buy this $1,800 vacuum cleaner. That's what it was when I sold them. They were $1,800. Now they're $1,500. So, and I could imagine how that would go over. So I had a big problem with that initially because, you know, we were supposed to kind of pressure, you know, you mean your family's health isn't important to you? You don't think that this is important to protect your family? That's how we were expected to talk. And I refused. I won't do that kind of stuff. I will not do that kind of stuff. The moment that I dreaded at every single home that I went to, the moment that I dreaded wasn't knocking on the door, wasn't walking in, wasn't doing my silly little demonstration because I tried to add a bunch of humor to it. I tried to make it an entertainment for them, enjoyable for them. And I think I did fairly well. I didn't sell worth a shit, but that's because I wouldn't do the high-pressure sales. And at the part that I dreaded is at the end of every demonstration, I had to tell the people, hey, look, I'm new at this, and my boss is going to want to talk to you and just ask how I did, and how, as far as explaining things to you and stuff like that. Is that okay? And when you said that, automatically people would be a little bit on guard, and I understand why. Because what happens when he gets on the phone when he gets on the phone with them, is he's going to do that high pressure sales crap that we were supposed to do. And let me tell you what, old Elroy was an ass. Bad. I actually, when you start out doing it, they have you demonstrate it for like family and friends and stuff like that. And so I had actually had a friend of the family scheduled to show them, and I showed them, and they really actually liked it. And I told them my boss has got to talk to you and all that, you know. And I wasn't trying to pressure them into getting one. I just needed to get this out under my belt so that I could continue on doing it out with the random people we picked out of a phone book. So so I got done with the demonstration. I told him I had to call the boss and they didn't want to talk to him and blah, blah, blah. And over the course, and Al was the guy's name, the friend of the family, and he was a good guy, you know, but he was somebody you probably didn't want to cross. I mean, he was a good guy, but he wouldn't put up with any bullshit. And I could tell his mood and tenor change immediately when he got on the phone with Elroy. And by the time he got off the phone with Elroy, he was pissed. And I mean with a capital P. And I never could understand people that are that way. I'm not I'm not going to push anything on anybody. If I've got a request, I'll ask it one time. If I'm told no directly, I won't ask again. If I'm told yes, I'll expect it to happen. And I'm just a really, really straightforward kind of person. I won't bullshit anybody, and I will do my absolute best never to even come close to taking advantage of someone. It's just who I am. But anyway, the only reason we've got a filter queen is because we didn't pay no big bucks for it. Jen's mom actually gave it to her. They needed a vacuum a long, long time ago, and Jen had asked me what kind, and I'll stand behind these vacuums to the day I die. Filter Queen vacuums, I'm telling you, are the best, and I'll stand by them till the day I die. But they're expensive as hell. You can get them, real old ones and stuff, on eBay, usually pretty cheap. And so, I don't know, I think her mom got this one for like $125 or something like that. It was something like that. And it's older, I would say late 60s, possibly early 70s model, most likely late 60s. But it's back there humming away, and they're just unimaginably good, and I highly recommend them. But in all seriousness, they are actually an air filtration system. When these machines were initially built, they were actually built for air filtration systems in hospitals and clinics and stuff like that. Filter Queen is actually part of another company called Healthmore Industries, and they were responsible for a lot of the hospital air filtration systems and stuff like that. So the Filter Queen, sorry Elroy, vacuum is actually an air filtration system. That's no joke, and it uses a HEPA filter, and the way that it works is just incredible, and it's really, really, really hard to kill the damn thing. So it's just a really tough machine. But anyway, I'm gonna get off the vacuum cleaner / air filtration subject, but Filter Queen, if anybody again wants to know what I'm talking about, this is them. The Majestic Surface Cleaner. We couldn't call it a vacuum cleaner before, I'm telling you. There you go, $1,500. I'm sure all of you will run out and buy that right now. No bags. It's got the bagless cyclonic action. This is a HEPA filter, and it does a very, very, very good job. And this thing is just incredible. You can. Right here, there's like a 90-degree elbow here. And so when the air comes in, it's constantly swirling, just like they're showing there. And so that means you can suck up nuts, bolts, it doesn't matter. It's not like it's going to get caught in the fan and wipe it out or anything like that. It's, like I say, they're incredible. Nice lightweight head, except that you got a little R2D2 looking thing you got to drag behind you. Other than that, they're incredible. So look at this. I'm still trying to sell the damn things. No, no, they're incredible. They really are. I don't know. I wouldn't pay $1,500 for one, but I'd most certainly, time and time again, go to eBay and get them. In fact, that's probably about the 4th or 5th one that I've had in my existence, because that's how much I believe them. And I would get one and lose it, and get another and lose it, and it is what it is. But anyway, let's quit talking about vacuum cleaners and Canadian wildfire smoke, and let's start talking about nukes. Well, I at least tried to make it sound climactic or some whatever the hell. I actually did a video on this earlier, and I didn't upload it. I don't know. It didn't turn out how I liked, so I didn't upload it. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on over. I've jabbered on for 20 minutes, and I've got a lot of articles up here. I've got 8, 9, 10, maybe 10? 4, 5, no, 9. So that's a few. And anyway, a lot of them are pretty important stuff. I thought this was pretty important, and I thought that this said two things to me. Number one, what the article is about, which is, in my opinion, hopeful news. It's good news. But also, I believe it shows you that RT, Russia Today, isn't just pure Russian propaganda. Now, I've pointed out on multiple occasions, and I'll point out when I think something is propaganda. It is what it is. But for RT to put out an article that says only 11% of Russians back call to use nuclear weapons, says a survey, well, that tells me that two things. Number one, the folks that lived through the Cold War and / end of the Cold War didn't forget. That's one thing, which that's a very hopeful thing. And number two, that RT is going to be straight with us, at least to some level, because Putin would not want this in the media as much as he would want in the media that the whole country was after him using whatever means he needed in order, right? Because that's what they go for. So I just wanted to point that out. RT catches a lot of crap because it's Russia Today. And while they do absolutely have propaganda on their news, it sure in the hell ain't like U.S. propaganda, that's for damn sure. Anyway, digging into this article a little bit, the absolute majority of people in Russia oppose the idea of Moscow using nuclear weapons against Ukraine in the ongoing conflict, according to a fresh poll conducted by the media outlet RTVI and the Russian Field Polling Agency. Almost three-quarters of respondents, or 74%, said that a nuclear option is unacceptable regardless of the situation on the battlefield, RTVI reported on Wednesday. Only 10% of Russians said the use of nuclear weapons was acceptable at any moment, while another 5% said such a step could only be made in the face of a real risk of defeat. Some 5% of respondents provided no clear answer to this question. Men, middle-aged, and older Russians appeared to be more supportive of a nuclear option, which I thought that was interesting, according to the survey. Respondents with higher education and those perceiving the ongoing conflict as a potential threat to their personal security tend to oppose it. Now, when they say men, middle-aged and older, I would definitely be thinking like, and sorry folks, but the boomer generation is what it is, right? The boomer generation, they have to be. Because I don't see Gen X having it as far as supporting nuclear conflict. I don't see it. But definitely the boomers, and I would say pre-boomers. Maybe the very, very, very end of Gen X. I don't know when Gen X technically ends, but I don't think it's too far beyond me. So, yeah. Let's see. Anywho, that is good news. Now, Reuters had a poll. I gotta have coffee for this bullshit. This is the difference between, and I just talked about this. This is the difference between RT, Russia Today, and an American news outlet. Okay? Because RT's just reporting what Reuters reported. Some 65% of Americans support continued military aid to Ukraine, up from 46% in May. Okay, so you just take a poll, right, with the people that you know. How many people that you personally know, just, give them... Do you think there's 65% of the people that you know that are just like, oh, yeah, keep sending them stuff? Hell yeah, man. Just, yeah. Send them more billions, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. This is what governments want. They want to be able to try to show people or try to convince people that whatever the hell it is they're doing is the popular choice. Hell, look at all this trans stuff that's going on that's supported by the government. How far are they willing to go to push it? I'd say pretty damn far. Pardon me. And that's another thing that you know as well as I do. Doesn't have near the support that they're trying to make it seem it does. Not even close. My hat's off to RT. You know, I'll call them out when I see stuff. And I do see stuff, and I do call it out. And what it is. Here's another poll. Says support for U.S. and Israel reaches 20-year high. Interesting. Pardon me. Now, this is in 23 nations. It says public support for the U.S. among Israelis has reached a 2-decade high. Oh, this is for the... Okay, this is opposite of what I thought it was. I thought this was about U.S. supporting Israel. My apologies. Either way, though, it's noon. Public support for U.S. among Israelis has reached a 2-decade high, according to a new survey of residents in 23 nations. While backing for Washington has generally declined across Europe, Poland remains an exception and demonstrates the highest level of support. Asked about their views toward the U.S. for a Pew survey published on Tuesday, 87% of Israelis polled said their opinion was generally favorable, with just 12% responding in the negative. Yeah, I mean, look at the damn money that we give them. That figure is the highest since Pew started conducting the survey in Israel in 2003, with ratings steadily creeping upward. Again, they're going to say what they want you to hear. The U.S. has long maintained close ties with Israel, a former Secretary of State, Alexander Haig, once likening the country to American aircraft carrier in the world that cannot be sunk. It continues to receive billions of dollars in U.S. aid annually, much of it spent on military hardware. Though President Joe Biden has been less vocal in his support for Israel, his predecessor, Donald Trump, was a strong advocate for the Jewish state. Now, I want to say full stop. Don't ever believe that kind of bullshit. Every one of these human beings are in support of Israel. The United States government is on Israel's lap. It's not something that they broadcast and tell you about on the evening news. But we've been on Israel's lap for decades. It is what it is. And Israel's not the end-all, be-all. Israel's on the king's lap now, which sounds probably more accurate. Oh, Netanyahu sitting on whoever's lap. Is it Charles? Whoever the hell. Of course, I guess that's not as horrific as imagining the Queen on his lap. But anyway. Pleasant thoughts. Pleasant thoughts. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, man. Whole nother thing. Okay, more on the situation with Ukraine, and not good news for them. Switzerland blocks the sale of Leopard tanks destined for Kiev. Swiss government has rejected a request to export 96 Leopard IA-5 tanks intended for delivery to Ukraine, it announced in a statement on Wednesday. The proposal was inconsistent with the European nation's law and its neutrality principles, it explained. Now they're thinking about that? The request came on Tuesday from the defense firm RUAG AG to sell a specific group of tanks currently in storage in Italy and needed authorization from the Swiss Federal Council, the statement said. The plan was to have the older armor refurbished in Germany and then deliver the tanks to Ukraine. The Federal Council has concluded that the sale of 96 tanks is not possible under the law as it stands, the Swiss government said. RUAG is a Swiss-based and owned international defense company. It owns the Italy-based banks, which are inoperable at the moment, according to Bloomberg. In May, Switzerland agreed to sell the Germany 25 Leopard 2 tanks that its military had mothballed, on the condition that they would not be sent to Ukraine. Despite this limitation, the deal with the Rheinmetall AG, the original producer of the vehicles, was perceived by some observers as supporting the Ukrainian war effort. Germany was among donors of the Western-made battle tanks to Kiev as it was preparing for counteroffensive against Russia. Getting such armor back from Switzerland potentially gives Berlin more leeway in sharing its own arsenal. So, we'll see, but I think you're going to see more and more countries back away, be like, not so much. This is another part of it that is just a nightmare. Absolutely nuts. Oh well, tell your mom happy birthday. I just looked up just now. I know I'm horrible, right? Sorry, guys. Maybe we can find like a Bluetooth-enabled shock collar or something like that, and you guys can all have like a remote, or we can put a button on a website or something like that, and you can just shock the shit out of me whenever. No, that's probably not a good idea. Maybe I won't do that. Anyway, tell your mom happy birthday, man. And by the way, I saw too about using Shopback to suck up nuts and bolts. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's exactly, in my opinion, what shopbacks are more or less meant for. You know, it's just nice to have a regular house vac, too, that you don't have to worry about sucking a penny up and destroying the fan, because there's a whole hell of a lot of vacuums that you suck a penny up in them, and it's going to chink the fan. Let's see. A major recession imminent in the West, says HSBC. We've been hearing a lot of these kind of reports here lately. U.S. is projected to enter recession in the fourth quarter of 2023, the British banking giant HSBC said on Tuesday, adding that Western European countries would face a downturn as soon as next year. According to the mid-year outlook issued by HSBC Asset Management, recession cautions are flashing red for many economies as stock and bond markets are out of sync with fiscal and monetary policies. While some parts of the economy are still resilient, the balance of risks points to high recession risk now, with Europe lagging behind the U.S., but the macro trajectory generally aligned, the bank's global chief strategist Joseph Little said in the report. Our central scenario is for recession in Western economies and a difficult, choppy outlook for markets, Little projected, citing two reasons behind the outlook. First, we have the rapid tightening of the financial conditions that caused a downturn in the credit cycle. Second, markets do not appear to be pricing a particularly pessimistic view of the world, the strategist added. The warning came a week after the Bank of England moved to lift rates to 5%, the highest level in 15 years, as sticky inflation erodes the British economy. In May, the U.S. Federal Reserve announced another hike of its key interest rate to 5.25%, the highest since 2007. At the same time, the European Central Bank raised the Eurozone's key rate to 3.75% in an attempt to curb raging inflation. Despite the hawkish tone adopted by Western regulators, HSBC Asset Management expects the U.S. Fed to slash rates before the end of the year, or current year, with the ECB and BOE following suit next year. The recession is not going to be big enough to really purge all inflation pressures out of the system. As a result, this points to a regime of somewhat higher inflation and interest rates over time, Little concluded. Yeah, we'll see about that. Because that's only if the U.S. dollar can retain the world reserve currency. Scientists have observed for the first time gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of the universe, likely caused by black holes dancing in circles. Damn it, Oprah, go to bed. Anyway. I know, I had to bring her back into it tonight. Part 2. Alright. This is probably something to pay attention to. Because I don't know if you've been chalking up the coincidences or not. But there seems to be a lot of first things that Ukraine has become known for. Well, maybe not quite so known for, but like right now, there's all kinds of new weapons that are being tested in Ukraine. First time for all those, right? And there's quite a few, from my understanding, toys being tested over there. Also, I don't want you to forget that the United States has been involved in quite a bit of biological research in Ukraine, right? And there's a lot of firsts involving that as well. Well, now, I'll be damned. Ukraine could become world's first cashless economy, says an official. Well, I'll be. Don't we need to wait to see if there's going to be a Ukraine? Ukraine is considering imposing a complete ban on the circulation of cash in the country in a bid to stamp out corruption. The deputy head of the presidential office, Rostislav Shurma, revealed on Wednesday. Dude, I don't know her address, but Oprah Winfrey, man, there is certainly definitive proof of Black House. that there is. Oprah, right? And you got J-Lo, right? That's I think, right? If I'm wrong, I guess I'm misappropriating. Hell, I don't know. All kinds of black hoes there. All kinds of white hoes. I mean, I could probably give you a few phone numbers. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. Thank God I quit doing it to myself. I gotta quit. Back to the news. Let's see. Speaking at the London Ukraine Recovery Conference, he said his government will present a roadmap. Whether we will do it or not, the politician expressed hope that the decision will be yes. Well, yeah, because I'm sure you're going to get paid big for it. Adding that such a measure would help prevent bribery. Oh, bullshit. You're getting bribed to back this. Dude, you're totally getting bribed to back this. Don't bullshit me. These are very deep and serious discussions within our team, the Prime Minister and the President. We want to become the first totally cashless economy. Like, who the fuck says that? Komsomolskaya Pravda in Ukraine, quoted Sherman saying. I'm sure I got every syllable of that correct. The initiative could become a very effective instrument for liquidation of 95 to 90% of the country's wealth. Of all corruption cases in Ukraine, according to the official. He worked for the other one, too. Economists, however, have expressed doubts over the scheme. Ukrainian financial analyst Alexei Kush noted that a ban on legal tender would prompt a flow of the hryvnia into dollars, triggering a collapse of the national currency. Yeah, don't be following us, because we're going down too. Moreover, he pointed out that hard cash becomes the only means of payment during power outages. What are we going to do then, Bob? Well, I guess they don't give a damn, Bob. Okay, Bob. Yeah, Bob says too damn bad. In Ukraine, people have been paying bribes through offshore companies for a long time, so cash has no effect on corruption. The head of the Ukrainian Analytical Center, Alexander Okamarenko, argued. He claimed that Sherma was engaging in meaningless publicity and just said something stupid. According to the analyst, around 40% of settlements in Ukraine are currently conducted in cash. If they can get them to roll it out, they damn well will. They certainly want to get that ball rolling. Coffee. I gotta have coffee. Because the next two, And you thought the gay frogs, Alex Jones, was bad. Ugh. We got gay penguins. Yep. Gay penguins. It's in the news. I didn't tell them to question their sexuality. I mean, I guess I gotta, I can't speak against it. That's for damn sure. Fuckers will bring their entire emperor colony down here. Kick some human ass. We better not make fun of the gay penguins. They will screw you up. It might take them a while to waddle up to you, but once they get there, they'll peck the shit out of your shin. Oh, and they'll poop on you, because that's what they really do for defense. They poop on you. Anyway, U.S. broadcaster defends "We're coming for your children" pride chant. That's how bad this stuff has gotten. I mean, seriously, it's messed up. It is seriously messed up. Both these stories I've got, this and the gay penguin stuff, is really messed up. NBC News has defended a drag march in New York City where revelers chanted, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children." American conservatives reacted to the parade with disgust and condemnation, but the network claimed that the apparently pro-pedophilia chant was taken out of context. We didn't mean it that way. We didn't mean it that way. Yeah. Do we get to say that we didn't mean it that way too? Do we get to say that and make that claim that that's not what we meant when we fixed this problem? Video footage shot at the New York City drag march on Friday shows a crowd of colorfully dressed drag queens and revelers walking through Manhattan's West Village, with some chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we're not going shopping." However, a number of participants rewarded the classic LGBTQ rallying cry, adding the reference to children. Some participants also held signs reading "Groom Sissies," and with sissies being a reference to people who are not transgender. See, and this is the thing that I don't understand. You know, even if you put together everybody that supports this nonsense, you're still talking about a small fraction of the world. You truly are. Look, here's the thing. This has been made political, and one thing that you need to understand is Red Team won't get off their asses for anything. Plain and simple. They won't get off their asses for anything. Blue Team has no problem getting out there. What are you going to do? It's easy for Blue Team to assemble crowds of people like this. And I just want to say that I'm totally disgusted by the fact that this is even a political discussion to begin with, because this should have not a damn thing to do with politics. And shame on everybody that keeps dragging it into a political thing. But unfortunately, since I do news, and that's the kind of bullshit that's happening in the world, I have to speak about it. Yeah, I made that video about remote ID earlier. And towards the end of the video, I flat out said the government needs to sit down and shut up. Same on this matter with the government, and same to these people. You better sit down and shut up. I'm just saying, I'm one guy sitting in my living room. But I'm telling you that there are many, many, many American people that are really, really, really not good with this agenda. And I'm pretty sure you pushed it about as far as what you're going to get. Again, I'm not speaking for anybody. I'm just saying I'm not stupid. And I know the people are about to be lit over this. My advice would be for the individuals out there, and I'm truly, no jokes, I'm speaking from the heart here. If you're somebody that maybe kind of supports this, or, you better pick a side, and you better choose wisely. Because I have a feeling that if there is another civil war in this country, this is going to be what it gets started over. And not only do you want to be on the right side of history, for one, believe me, this isn't a North-South ending slavery thing. Sorry, there's a difference. There's a big, big difference between forcing people to be able to commit pedophilia against your children, because that's what this is. This is the direction it's going. Look, you've got schools indoctrinating kids into this. This other article, gay penguins to teach kids about alternative sexualities in Australia. In Australia, apparently 2 male penguins who gave birth to a chick in 2000. I don't know. I don't know. Says here, right here, the crash course in avian sexuality is aimed at K2 students or those younger than 8 years old, according to an image of a PowerPoint slide shared by the organization. I get the feeling that there's a whole lot of people that have had their fill of this. I would just tell people, choose wisely on this one. Very wisely. Because I think there are a lot of good-hearted people that just want to be nice, that have backed this kind of stuff just because they want to be nice. And it was fine up until a point. When they start targeting children, that's when it's got to stop. By any means necessary. It is what it is. I guarantee you, this agenda gets stopped. Guarantee it. It's ridiculous. And then we got this dipshit that can't even think of the right war. Putin's not losing the Iraq war. Putin's probably collecting a bunch of our equipment from the Iraq war. Along with Z. I don't even got to read this article. You know the deal. He's a dumbass. He's in the office of the presidency. Yeah. Oh, did I not? I didn't have the web browser on. Sorry. Oh, just for that last little bit. Okay. Well, let me turn it on now or else I'll forget. Because I'm good about that. I just got to have a few vapes before I start reading through this plunder. Pretty sure I probably didn't use that word right, but whatever. Oh, man. I updated my Oculus Quest to version 55 today. Yay for me. Cheers, Angel. I found out that you can enroll in the beta club, the beta thing or whatever, and get the latest version. And so I clicked the little button for that and updated to version 55, which gave us it gives us a performance boost. Yeah, join the little beta thing. Go on your phone in the app and go to advanced settings, advanced setting, and join the little whatever thing they call it. And immediately it updates to the latest version. Pardon me. Yep, that's how you do it, though. I think somebody said you can do it with the PC, too, with the PC app. So I did mine with the phone app. Yep. And then I went in, and I don't know if I know... Dude, I don't know how to set my stuff up. If you know what you're doing with VR, dude, I mean, like, really, really know what you're doing, then I got to hook up with you. Otherwise, I need to hook up with somebody from the Flight Sim group to find out what the ideal settings for my processor and video card and all that good stuff. Because that stuff is way over my head. I'll be honest about that. Get into ambient occlusion and ray tracing, and I don't know if I should be running DX11 or DX12, and you know, which anti-aliasing should I use, if any? There's just so much crap that I don't know enough about it to be able to say, oh, well, you should turn this here and turn that there. Nope, I play with it and slam them around and get all skippy and all that crap and just, yeah. I need to find somebody to help me set it, smack my fingers, and tell myself, leave it alone, and then I'll be good. Okay. Yeah, Flight Sim would be a totally different thing. Absolutely, totally different thing. Because of it using both, you know, the link cable and being a PC game, yeah. And you gotta know. That's right. You wouldn't know the settings for the for Flight Sim, duh, because you don't have it. Duh. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, it's crazy and it's real. I don't know. There's a hell of a lot of settings. Anywho, got some headlines here. Read them and then take my happy ass to bed. Since we live such an exciting life. Alright, fatal police shooting sparks riot in France. Russia summons Israeli envoy over Nazi comments. Let's see. Another Russian oil shipment arrives in Pakistan, says media. Cover that one. Russia ranked among world's biggest food exporters, says data. Lukashenko comments on abduction accusations. Taiwan scrambles jets after Russian warship sighting. Thought that was interesting. That's Russia popping up and saying, hey, we could spare a ship. China decoupling would be suicidal for EU, Hungary warns. Kiev's proposal to rename major city is lunacy, says Ukrainian MP. Klimt masterpiece sets European price record. Okay, whatever. Ukrainian MOD chief explains lack of counteroffensive results. They suck? I mean, problem explained. Major recession imminent in West. Oh, duh, I covered that. U.S. obsessed with inflicting strategic defeat on Russia, says Moscow. Russian Mozarts and Beethovens are welcome instead of Wagner's, says African nation. Russia's security chief meets with head of Iranian police. ECB pressures EU banks to speed up Russia exit. Scotland to seek EU reunion, says First Minister. Quran burning to be permitted in European capital. Let's see. Mysterious illness killing cats across Poland, says media. Let's see. Pentagon sends more Bradleys to Ukraine. Baltic state resists permanent NATO deployment. Thought that was interesting. Guantanamo detainees subjected to inhumane treatment, says the UN. Chinese tech stocks drop on rumored U.S. crackdown on chip exports. Stoltenberg outlines condition for Ukraine joining NATO. Neutral Switzerland joins EU's anti-Russia sanctions. Zelensky moves to cancel traditional Christmas. I thought that was interesting. South Koreans become younger as age counting law changes. Okay. Russia asks states to boycott Zelensky's peace forum. A standoff between Russia and West is war of worlds, says Lavrov. Titan wreckage returns to surface. Europe approaching a catastrophe, says Hungary. EU makes food promise to Ukraine. I was right about Russia, says ex-German Chancellor. Macron condemns inexcusable police shooting behind new unrest. And lastly, U.S. announces bomb sale to NATO member. Always room to sell weapons. Nuts, man, nuts. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. I am going to relax, go to bed, and God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with more nonsense, because it's just like never-ending nonsense. It's the never-ending buffet of nonsense that is the world news. So anyway, I am getting out of here. I appreciate everybody coming. I hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit. Shalom.